Welcome back. We're doing Wish Your Family New Life, Chapter 5. Chapter 5 Sawyer. What is happening? I woke up and looked around the house. The plants were looking good, sweet smelling and healthy. I checked the plants in Protection Village. Totems and rainbow chickens were tending to them. All good here. I went foxling and jumped up from platform to platform. I went fast and quickly got up to the door. I turned back and walked through the doors. I walked outside and looked at the plants near our home. All good. I did not dare go into the woods near our home. We did have trees to hide our home from the sky, but we had a stone path around our house. 100 feet out. I started to walk back inside. I froze as my ears perked up. I closed my eyes and listened. I sniffed the air. Blood. I opened my eyes and looked at the woods. I was scared, but our heart was pounding fast, and breathing was quick and short. Leaves were being crunched as something was fleeing from something. I went foxling and carefully went into the woods. I blended in with the trees. I ran from tree to tree. I stopped and looked down. A pink ground slider hid the best she could behind the brush. I heard hunters after her. I jumped down and fully hid her. She was going to scream, but I covered her mouth. I heard the hunters discussing, then leaving. She was terrified. I waited until it was safe. I carefully pulled back from her. I turned back. She stared at me. "You okay?" I asked. She was bleeding from her back, arms, and tail. She started to fall. I caught her and poured her home. "Dad!" I yelled. Dad came running over to me. He saw the girl. "Totems, now!" Dad said. I ported down to Protection Village. Totems saw me and rushed over to help. Life, death, and healing totems tended to her. Fool's Gold helped because he was both life and death. I waited for them. I was worried about her. After a bit, a female totem came and got me. I went into the building that they made for healing. We walked into the room with the girl. She was on a soft bed. She was all healed up. She is exhausted from moving really quickly. She is a bit dehydrated and is starving a bit. She is what is known as a tender ground slider. I don't know why she is being hunted down, but her kind is widely known all over the world. They are kind and gentle. They will only attack if they are in danger. Weird that she did not attack the hunters, Fool's Gold said. I looked carefully at her. I think I know why. She's half tender. The other half is magic, I said. He looked again. Okay, now I see it. That would explain the pink tail better, he said. I picked her up. What are you doing? He asked. Bad boy found Spiky. I found her. I want to make sure that she is comfortable with me being around her, I said. Are you sure about that? A totem wolf asked. She might just attack you guys for not recognizing the one that saved her, I said. Good point, a deer totem said. I ported to my room. Daddy was waiting. I thought you would bring her here. Take her into the garden. That way you can work and keep an eye on her, Dad said. I ported into the garden. I carefully laid her on some grass. The rainbow chickens were confused and got closer to her. I flapped my wings. They got the message and stayed away from her. Parents helped the chicks not to go near her. I got to work on some of the requested plants. I managed to make a raspberry mango plant. I rested for a bit. I had lost a lot of energy making that hybrid plant. I looked at the girl. She was gone. I stood up and looked around. I froze and saw that the rainbow chickens were gone. I started to worry. I poured it into the rainbow chicken room. I froze and tried not to laugh. She was trying to pet one of the chickens. I made a noise. She got spooked and looked at me. I'm sorry, I cut her off. I told them not to go near you. I don't want them to hurt you, I said with a laugh. I walked over and picked up a chick. I handed it to her. She pet the chick. All the rainbow chickens ran over and got all over her. She laughed. You're new to them. And don't eat them. They can only be eaten if they die naturally. They're poisonous if you kill them, I said. I walked back to the garden. She slithered after me. The chickens got back to work. This is so cool, she said. They're not normal chickens. They're easy to train, I said. Stretched out my wings. I laid belly first on the grass. I watched her as she explored the huge garden. Can I eat some? She asked. I got up and walked over to her. Follow me, I said. She followed me. I used my powers to get some food from the baskets around the place. I sat on the grass. I used my powers to make a tree with a wooden bowl in its bark. I put the food in. There you go. Hope you like the hybrid plants, I said. She started to eat. Her eyes went wide and slowed down. She licked her lips and got more. I laughed a bit. I laid back down on my belly. I closed my eyes for a bit. I woke up to singing. I sat up and looked around. The girls sang a lovely song. The rainbow chickens all sat and listened. I listened as well. She ended the song and looked around. She giggled a bit. I got up and walked over to her. So, I said. She was startled. I stopped and looked at the ground. Sorry, I said. It's fine, she said. I looked back up and walked over to her. What's your name? I asked. Lily. You're the one who saved me, she said. I am. I was outside. Right time and place, I guess, I said. Your name? She asked. Sawyer, I said. Nice to meet you, she said, then looked around. I don't see a house, she said. I laughed. She looked at me confused. You're in a mansion, I said, trying to calm down. She blinked. I held out my hand. She took it. I took her out of the garden room. She looked back, then down the hole. What the? She asked. I laughed. I gave her a tour of the house, then Protection Village. She was stunned. She hugged my arm as totems came over to greet her. They're fine. Some of them helped heal you, I said. All that helped heal her got to fully meet her. She thanked them, but stayed by my side. I took her back to the garden. I got to work on the new plant section. She watched. I used my powers to quickly replicate the plant and made more and more of them. After the section was done, I rested for a bit. Dad walked over to us. Lily saw him and froze. Hey, Dad, I said. She looked at me, then Dad. Your wish summon? She asked. Half, I said. You okay? My son Sawyer yelled my name with you in his arms. You were badly hurt, Dad said. Tender ground sliders have heat seasons. It's around, and no male wants to be with me. I'm 18 and have no one to be with. If I don't find someone fast, then I will die. They kicked me out from where we were living, and hunters took advantage of that. She said, Huh. All I have to do is go full wish summon, and I can avoid foxling heat seasons, I said. She looked at me. You're safe here. Most of my sons need mates anyways, Dad said. Dad started to leave. Oh, lunch is ready, Dad said. I took Lily to eat lunch with us. She got to meet the whole family. She stayed by my side. Bad Boy ported into the room with Spiky. They sat down and got some food. Spiky, must you always sit on Bad Boy's lap? I asked. My future husband? Yes, Spiky said. Got some new, I see, Bad Boy said. Her name is Lily, Serene said. I have gotten B to draw with me, Ramboop Comics said. Gain her trust. Find a way to tell her that you're here to help, Dad said. Yes, Daddy, Ramboop Comics said. I felt something around my tail. I looked. Lily had the end of her tail around mine. I looked Outrider. She wants you to be her mate. Take her on some dates. After lunch, I showed her our hunting grounds. A huge landscape with animals to hunt down. It took a while for the animals to repopulate to a point where we can hunt them down. Death and Blade Tech got most of the animals. The whole family and some totems helped as well. Hold on, I said. I went foxling. I used my powers to put her on my back. She wrapped her tail around my belly and gripped my fur. I flapped my wings a bit. I took off running. She was scared at first, then opened her eyes. I ran into, out, over, and under the plants. Flowers, trees, bushes, and more. She started to laugh. I went faster. I jumped off a cliff. She screamed. I spread out my wings and let the wind carry me. She calmed down and took the beauty in. I flew with her for a long time. I landed and went back to running. I ran out of the hunting grounds and went low to the ground. She got off and laughed. That was amazing! She laughed. I turned back. What do you want to do now? I asked. She stopped and froze. I'm comfortable around you. I don't want to leave your side, she said. We went back to the garden. She watched me, then started to help. She played with the chicks when she felt like it. I laughed. Days passed. I took her through the hunting grounds each day. We worked in the garden, and she played with the rainbow chickens. I set up a laptop in the garden for some music. I turned on a playlist of Imagine Dragons on YouTube. I left the computer. I got to work. Songs played, then stopped. I stopped. Death's songs that he made came up. I got up. The song was not finished when more songs were played. Not one song was done. They barely started. Death's songs popped up more times than the others. I walked over with Lily behind me. Bella flapped her wings and clucked in rage. She chased off the others. I froze. What the fox? I asked. Bella was hogging the laptop. Others tried to turn on other songs, but she won't allow it. She danced to the rough and quick beat. I walked over to the overcom. I pushed the button for Death's room. "Did you teach the chickens to read and type?" I yelled. I waited. "I'm live, and no," Death said. "Then explain to me why Bella is hogging the laptop and turning on your songs over and over again," I snapped. I waited. Death rushed into the room. I let go of the button. He saw what was happening and laughed. I bonked his head. "Oh, they must have learned from Connor. He likes to go into the nest area and play Minecraft there. He must have taught them," Death said. I crossed my arms. "I don't want to listen to only your songs," I said. Lily tried not to laugh. "Let's make a system," Death said. We made 3 wooden coins for each chicken. We made small boxes for them to get the coins. We made a basket for the coins to be placed in. Death got control of the laptop. He stopped the music. He showed the chickens the coin and put it in the basket. He turned on Believer from Imagine Dragons. He stopped chickens from coming to change the song. He waited for the song to end. He put in another coin and turned on Haunted from Evanescence. The chickens got the message and then looked around. Death picked up a chicken and walked over to the nest. All followed. He showed them where the coins were. Chickens got a coin and rushed over to be the first to pick the song. Bella was first. Others were a bit mad, but calmed down. Death left. I went back to work. I listened as things started to calm down. Bella was not too happy about only 3 coins, but went back to work. I went to bed. Lily came into my room. I looked at her. She was having a hard time. I sniffed. I smiled and went over to her. I hugged her. "Help me," she said. "I will love," I said. I pulled her into a kiss. Alright. I'll see you guys in the next one.